Hi everyone, my name is Nilesh Mathure, and I'm joined by Vin Parini, who's the co-founder of SaasTribe. Hi Vin,
Hi, Niels.
how are you?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, good.
Okay, sorry, pressed the wrong button. My apologies there. So hi everyone, we wanted to do a session because we thought there's quite a few new members, and we saw some comments that there is a lot of new folks in the community, and of course, some people are new to the LTD world altogether because you might have joined because of some invite, or maybe you found our community. So thought we'll do a session and talk a little bit about what is expected in the community and just go over some of the rules as well. What do you think, Win?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So, thank you.
First of all, we don't want to allow any type of spam, any type of because uh, if you start posting your site, we have close to over 10,000 members. If everybody starts posting their links and things of that nature, it could create a lot of spam and posts which are just basically self promotion type of post, which we want to avoid at all cost. So really, try to contribute, be engaged in the community, read what's going on, but also contribute and participate, and make sure you don't spam, you don't message, because if you DM anybody, or if you send friend request, unsolicited friend request, then for sure that's a reason for a permanent ban from the community. So we don't want that, right? So what do you think, Win?
Yeah, it's yeah. The way I put it, if you're living in a household with other, able-bodied adults, you clean up after yourself when you make food. You put your dishes away. You make sure that your dirty clothes are put in the laundry basket instead of strewn on the floor, and you tidy your bed. So the parable there is, we do these things because we're coexisting with other members of the community, and it's just a way of showing respect and adding value. If everybody spammed the group and was inconsiderate, and they just sell without the consideration of other people, then it destroys our community. It destroys the engagement in our community. We're working hard, as you can tell, with the various interviews that we're doing and the podcasts and the talks that we're doing. We're doing a lot, and we're building applications on the back end to really help you to build your own business, your own enterprises that you're doing. And the last thing we want is for basically amateurs and doing their thing, thinking they're getting away with it, being smarter than everybody else. We don't want that. We want everybody to respect those rules because they're there to make this a great experience for everyone. Anyway, I don't think we need to kind of like go on about it too much, but just a reminder kind of thing. I mean, you'll agree with me, Neelish, that we take a pretty stern line when we see people spamming the group. We give them a warning in the first instance, but if they carry on with it, that's it. You get
Yeah,
muted.
yeah, absolutely. Spamming, there's no reason for spamming. There's no room for any type of affiliate links, any type of links where you want to, get some sort of, you know, the user to send them emails or put them into a mailing list. No such things are allowed. So we want to keep the community clean. We want everybody to participate and take as much value, but you want to give it value to the other members as well, which for most part everybody does do really well. So we want to have a create an engaged community, and the secret for that is basically, participation from everyone is important, and we will
Yeah,
get to that
and
when what happens when you do participate as part of the next stage. So basically, I'm a firm believer in coffee is for closers only. So that's the saying where, where, hey, you get the benefits of posting things in the group, selling it at a higher cost, or whatever that is, but as long as you are involved in the day-to-day activities. So we want to change some of the things. We are committed to making this one of the biggest LTD communities, which we already are. But things are going to get a lot more exciting. We're going to have a lot more content around, and we're going to have a lot more founders. We want to build a very strong community, and as part of that, we are going to do some changes. Well,
Yeah. And I think, you put the shoe on the other foot. Would you like to be in a group where you just constantly see a whole bunch of junk over and over again? And the answer is no. None of us come here to waste our time and have our time wasted. We're here to we're here to buy and sell products as we need them and we don't need them, and we're here to have open-ended, transparent discussions that aren't muted by Appsumo, like i.e. fake reviews. We actually want real discussion. We want it to be fair. We don't want to be beating up founders, but we want there to be fair and transparent discussion around things. And we're here to learn. We can learn from each other. Uh, that's what we want. And the stuff that we've got planned for this group and for the membership, the membership and everything, man, we've got some amazing things conceived of that you guys are gonna love, right? But you gotta think about where we're going with this. We're aiming to have 100K plus members. We're at close to 11,000 right now. Imagine what happens then. It's just going to be through the roof. It's going to be crazy. But we've got to get a few behaviors right now, in terms of the ground rules of how we interact with each other, and I think it's going to work well. So where was I going to go with this? I had oh yeah. So that's what I wanted to say. So you mentioned it already. You touched upon it already, Neelish, about how if you really want to get ahead in these groups, whether you're in an advertising group or in a LTD group like ours or some other group, really the way to get ahead quickly is to help other people. Right, that is your quickest way forward. If you really want to promote yourself, the way to do it is to do it in a non-pitchy manner, in a non, you know, the newbie amateur way, to say, look, here I am, I'm awesome. Buy my crap. I'm just an idiot. Look at me. That's the way to demonstrate that you're an amateur. If you want to demonstrate that you're a pro, what you do is you get in there and you legitimately help people. You build up your authority, you build up your credibility, and you build goodwill in the community. And this is the quickest way to build influence in a community like this. I mean, I shouldn't need to say this. I mean, everybody who's intelligent, who's watching this, is agreeing with me, nodding their head vigorously, saying, yeah, of course, that's how you do it, right? For those people who aren't on board with that, FYI, that's how you do it, right? So if you're a new member here, you're coming in, all of our new members and recent members, really your quickest way forward is to help other people. By doing that, you're going to accelerate your own progress in this group and in your own business.
absolutely. And if you are contributing in a meaningful way, then we certainly want to invite you. We want to talk about you. We want to, but you have to uh, be excellent at what you're doing, like because we have higher standards. We are not into uh, someone who is not experienced in the domain and just talking about
Shooting the breeze.
yeah, yeah,
Shooting the breeze.
right, we are interested in talking to people who have some level of domain expertise and have shown some sort of a commitment into what they're doing for years, right? So certainly, if that's you, you're welcome. We want to reward you. We want to showcase your work. We want to,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
And
We'll give you a platform. If you're good at what you do, we'll bring you on. We'll give you all the promotion we can. We'll do it in a way that's natural and adds value to what you're doing. Honestly, we
absolutely,
love to do that, right?
absolutely, absolutely. So the next thing which we want to talk about is like lifetime deals in general. If somebody who's absolutely new, what are lifetime deals? So basically, lifetime deals is something which is used to be like a perpetual license. So software used to be perpetual license. You pay once, and either you pay for support, or you don't even have to pay for support. You just pay once and you get to use it, right? Since the evolution of cloud SaaS-based products, everything has moved to a more subscription economy. However, a lot of developers choose to when they launch, they choose to offer their product as a one-time cost, where in return, they're expecting some sort of feedback which users will provide. And as part of that, you get to keep and use the product if it's developed really well. So certainly, lifetime deals can turn out to be a really good bargain. At the same time, it can also be money down the drain if the company fails to do. And it has happened, right? It happens with every single platform. It's happened with a lot of deals on Appsumo. It happens a lot more on some of the tier 2 sites. So be careful what LTDs you buy, where you buy them from, and we have a do not sell, do not buy list. We're going to continue adding deals where we see they are not safe to trade. Don't buy them here, don't sell them here, because this is a community for premium deals only. And we're going to
What?
add some names as well of people who have known to have done some fraudulent transactions, tried to, in case of things like phrase, or there are some of the deals where some people have knowingly fooled around and sold fake codes and things of that nature. So we'll have a block list. If you're dealing with somebody outside of the community, that's at your own risk. I mean, we don't suggest you do that, but just be careful overall in terms of lifetime deals, which deals you're buying. Everything which glitters is not gold, right? So might be, if it's too good to be true, sometimes there is a problem for sure. So uh, verify in the community what deals you're buying, what you're trading, and so on.
Yeah, good idea. What's
Yeah.
some of the deals that we're avoiding at the moment? Invanto, Social Insider, is that one of them?
Yeah, yeah. There's quite a few. I mean,
It's a long
yeah,
list.
yeah. There's Groove pages, Groove, whatever Groove is. There's um, there's Lead Card. There's quite a few. Yeah, we'll have to see that list for sure. But the
Yeah.
reality is that
Ah, you've been doing some polling, right? So we could take that data and put it onto a. We were going to use Grist, but I think somebody was educating me. I think it was Jenny who was telling me you can't use Grist for doing that funky Airtable landing page that you showed me the other day.
yeah. Why
He
is
said
that?
that we could use. Apparently, you can't do embeds like you can with StackB and Airtables. Don't know.
Mm,
You might know more about it than I do. I guess once we get started, we'll know.
okay. Okay. Yeah. I have to. I have to look into it a little bit. So, shout out to everybody who's live, but these are not the people this session is for, actually. So I'm not sure why they're here. But Joe, Hugh, Sam, Jason, Gene, shout out to all of you, but you should not be attending this session. So, all right. Well, anyway.
Oh,
So,
it's up to you. If you want to stick around and try and make us laugh in the comments, that's that's completely up to you.
yeah. Yeah. The second thing, when you are buying or selling something, make sure you list your item and then you list your price, right? I mean, we don't encourage to price it ridiculously. The community is meant for trading, actually, but things have gone a little out of control. So we will have to think in terms of how we are going to manage some of that win in the future. Having said that, there is a room for us to improve some of the things here in that department as well, in terms of how things are priced and things of that nature. But when you're buying or selling deals, maybe there are multiple posts. Always transact using PayPal. Make sure the user is a member of this community. If he's not a member of this community, he's an untrusted user. You do not want to deal with him. And if you do, and your money goes, if there is a problem, you're alone. We're not behind you. So we suggest that you only transact with members of this community. If you see a particular post, if you see a post and you don't see the user anymore, that could be because the user has been kicked out for violating certain rules. So.
Mhm. Yeah. So good point. Really, really good point. So first of all, research the member you're dealing with. Make sure that they've had some positive transactions in the past, that they're actually engaged in the group. So that's a huge red flag. If somebody's not actively engaging and sharing in the group, they're probably just here to try and offload their fake licenses. So that's another reason why you should be. We encourage you new members to get involved in the group. So it really just starts to give you a bit of credibility. Um, look for any kind of like bad experiences that people have had with that person, and like Nilesh says, use PayPal. That's 100% necessary. Unless you've done multiple transactions with someone in the past and you really, really trust them, then it really doesn't matter. You're not taking any risk. But when you're dealing with somebody for the first time, you really need to de-risk the transaction by going through PayPal. And if there's any issues, then you give them their license back, and then you get a refund. Right? Simple as that. Yeah. What do you
Yes.
think, Neil?
Yes. I agree.
Uh, and like Neelish said, we're going to maintain our entire group. We're going to maintain a list of products that you should not buy and sell here. Products like Invanto and Social Insider and did you say lead pages? Is that what you said?
Lead card.
Lead
Lead
card.
card, and there's a
There was
few
another one. There was an
groove
there was an
pages or
SEO.
whatever, right?
There's a heap of them. Heap of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a heap of them. They're just like they're poison. You buy them and they're just terrible. There's no upside. Um, hey, Alston,
Hi,
great to see you
Alston.
here.
Hi, Aditya. Hi, Ankit. Um, yes.
Uh, cool. All right, so we'll do that list shortly, and I think it'd be great to do that in either Stackbee or Grist. If we maintain it till then, everybody will know. And I think just in general, like I remember there was a lady in our group the other day that was saying that she wished she knew what the products were that people were selling, because she's quite new and she doesn't really know all of the products that have come before. You and I have had the benefit of I've been on Appsumo since it first kicked off, so I've seen pretty much every product that's gone through there. Um, but not everyone's in that. Some people have literally only just discovered the whole lifetime deal phenomenon. So that it's going to be really great to have that list maintained, so people can go to it. Not only will they be able to see a description of what that product is, but they'll get a sense of how desirable it is and what kind of user experience people have with it, and how good it is compared to other similar tools. So if you're looking for social listening, you might compare Brand Overflow with Awario, with Web Signals, with I forget all of the names of them, but there's a bunch of them. But yeah.
Yes. I mean, for sure, we need to do something in terms of maintaining a database, sort of like for some of these deals. We've been talking about it for a while, but easier said than done because there are so many
Mm.
permutations, combinations in terms of like various plans, add-ons, and things of that nature. But we should start that and have that as a database, so ongoing, where people can go and look up into the database and see what they're doing. Like the thumb rule is the first person. I mean, the first question you want to ask is, was it an Appsumo deal when you're buying? If the name is not familiar, so if it wasn't on Appsumo, then most likely you want to check where it was. If it wasn't on Appsumo, and if you haven't heard of it, most likely it's not very desirable. There are some exceptions to that for sure, and we will get to that. But like everything else in life, there are exceptions. No offense to anybody, but for most part, if you haven't seen the name, and then it's probably some second tier undesired LTD. You don't want to get into that. You also want to ask when buying, why is the user selling it? Does it work? And things of that nature. So um, really, if it works well, like for something like an application which is very well desired, if you're buying it, paying a premium price, that's great. So things of that nature, I think, are important when you are buying an LTD, and especially when you're new.
Hmm. Yes.
Well, I mean, overall, I see, we always see that, there are some folks engaged, some are not, and it's okay because the Facebook community is such that, we want to have active users. We also don't want people just in there scraping data and things of that nature. So, you know, those who are engaged, we want to ideally keep them, and then we, for security reasons, if we are not engaged, maybe we don't know if it's a bot or thing. So for security reasons, we typically would remove people who are not engaged as well, right? So
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. So we've covered most of the housekeeping rules at this point for the new members.
yeah, I mean, I would highly suggest that you read the rules. There is an announcement. You read the rules and make sure you don't spam, because there is tremendous value you can get from the community as long as you are into this particular space and you understand what we are all about, right? So
Yeah. And also for founders, specifically for founders who are new members, and even for ones who are old members who don't really know this rule, but this is a reminder that if you want to post your offer up on our group, you do it after you speak with one of us, and you get admin approval. Highly, highly critical if you do that without getting our approval. And then when you do your post, please put on there hashtag admin approved so that anybody who's seeing this in the news feed um, can see that somebody's approved this and that it's not spamming the group. Otherwise members will get upset and they will, they know the rules and they know that you've broken them, so they'll be reporting them to us. Just really important.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, I think we covered some basic rules. We also want to have people to have fun, joke around, and whatever in between, right? But
Yep.
I mean, apart from spamming. So, Lal, thank you very much. I agree
From
there's a
spam,
lot of value to be gained. So, I think there is a
which is
lot of
not even
value
the
for us to be gained from everyone's comments as well. And we really value that, right? For sure.
right. Well, one of the huge things about this group, and I don't know if people, if you're watching any of our talks, we have Joe and Jason on here regularly with us. Thanks, Joe and Jason. You make this much really entertaining when you come on, and anyone else who comes on and joins us as well. We love it. One of the things you'll notice is this group's a real opportunity to connect with other people. One of the most powerful things that we do in this group is we have founders mixing with members. You get to have really like transparent, open-ended conversations that you may not get away with on their own groups because they might filter that or edit that. I can speak specifically. I won't, but I could speak specifically about certain groups where I've said that happen and I've been muted, and I haven't even been insulting or disrespectful in any way, shape, or form. Just asking an open-ended question and that gets shut down. Well, that won't happen here as long as it's kept, as long as the comments are kept reasonable. You can't
Yeah,
do that.
absolutely. We really, really value people's opinion, people joining in live, and Joe and Sam and Lyle and Jason, everybody who's here, Aditya and Alston, we value everybody who is in the community, like right now, live and doing, all the comments and valuable insights that you give, right? Like, so everybody out there, uh, there's a huge community. I can't literally talk about pick everyone's name, but I appreciate every single comment and post people make, right? For sure, there is a lot of things which we are learning from those posts, and I hope you do too.
So Wilson's just asking what's the subject for today. So a couple of things, Wilson. We're getting tons of people coming through every week at the moment, but Neil has just invited a whole bunch through today. I gave up trying to count how many. So once in a while, we'll do a specific video like this, just as quickly as possible and briefly, talking through the high points of our group roles and the kind of behavior that we feel is necessary to to build the value for all of us, because we, like I said, we're aiming for 100,000 members. I don't, if anyone's been keeping an eye on the numbers week by week, we're growing really quickly at the moment because of the excellent work that Neelish has put together with this podcast, but also a lot of the things that we're doing behind the scenes to, we've got some killer things planned for this group, man. It's going to be awesome. We can't talk too much about that yet, but uh, that's one of the reasons why once in a while we have to just stop and take stock and just talk a little bit about housekeeping rules like this. And I use the analogy of, if you live in a house with other adults, you got to clean up after yourself. Your clothes, your food, your dishes. You don't do that kind of stuff, and you don't pull your weight. The other people in the house are going to get angry with you because you're being selfish. So we're trying to create an environment here that really helps us all to get value out of this experience. Joe's asking how the group got started. You want to talk about that, Neelish?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So the group was started like a long time, Joe, before we took over. So it was, I believe, in 2018, and then with Diego, and he is still part of the group. So basically, we decided that hey, we wanted to build a community, and in, we've been part of the group, and we said, well, we worked out some details, and here we are. So I believe it was started around like 2018. Yeah.
Yeah. And for those of you who want to know our kind of part in this, so Neelish and I are co-founders of what we've calling SaasTribe, right? And so the vision there is pretty. It'll be pretty awesome if we pull off what we've got planned. But it's really, do you want to kind of cut in there, Neelish? I'm kind of like lost for words there, but
Yeah.
I'll let you kind of.
Yeah. So Win and me myself, we've been talking. We wanted to do something in a space where it's already crowded, and we wanted to differentiate ourselves in terms of rather than what Appsumo or Stacksocial or some of the other
Saasmantra.
sites, Saasmantra,
Yeah.
and these are some of the good sites. I have to say, I like some of the software which comes on Saasmantra.
Mhm.
Uh, Stack Social, not so much for most part, but once in a while you can pick up certain things. Appsumo has gone the similar route. So, of course, we wanted to have a community where we can select and have some sort of a premium discussion around deals. But we also thought that, hey, there are so many deals coming out, and there is not enough, validation around it. In there is not there's like the people who are backing some of these deals is limited as well. Now, look at AI copywriting, or look at what would it be the next trend, right? So there's a whole host of tools coming out, and then you have maybe 1,000 users backing this tool, maybe a few thousand users backing this tool. We didn't want that. We wanted to have like a community consensus. So we thought, okay, well, what if we do something around crowdfunding? So crowdfunding for apps can be, the path which we wanted to take, and we've done some legal work, and it's basically we registered a C corporation in US, and that's something which we would like to do in the coming months, where we want to crowdfund some specific apps and see what that response would be like. But we have a better, our selection criteria is a little bit like we work with a little bit higher standards. We don't want to do something which can not last long or does not have any potential. So we want to make sure that we promote something which has a very very high potential. Now, to give you some background, I have a business. I'm based in Toronto, and I'm pretty involved when it comes to some of the startups. In my office itself, we have quite a few startups. I'm into the startup scene. I meet people regularly. So we thought there is a scope where we could differentiate ourselves and do something which is not exactly like Appsumo or Saasmantra or something, but a little bit between a hybrid of, I would say, a Kickstarter and Appsumo kind of thing.
Yeah, it's got some crossover for sure, but we like Neela said, we don't feel like beating the same ground when they're already doing such an awesome job. I mean, AppSumo is really the bespoke lifetime deals
It is.
site. Trying to compete with that is like pushing water uphill. Why would you? What's bad about it? If there's anything bad about it, then if there's not anything bad about it, then why are you trying to create a competing product that's not as good?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
we're
there
not.
are certain things I can think of where AppSumo should really improve. The marketplace they have is pretty crowded.
Yeah,
Developers are not able to distinguish themselves, and for sure, for most part, there are multiple, communities which do a good job in terms of validating some of these things.
yeah,
Um, and but the reality is, they for AppSumo is a crowded marketplace today, right? Like developers are struggling to differentiate themselves for every single product AppSumo launches. Like for example, let's talk about Sleek Plan, right? It's the feedback loop from the customer, talking about change logs and roadmaps and things of that nature, where you can take feedback from your customer or
yeah,
getting a quick survey feedback or things of that nature, right? So a similar deal which had come on AppSumo was Frill. So AppSumo itself is launching deals which are competitive in nature in terms of. So instead of that, if they would you know um, be a little bit careful in terms of what they bring on the platform, that would help the developers but also help the users as well. That's what I think. And there are 1800 other tools available on AppSumo apart from what we just talked about. So it's kind of hard. I don't think it makes a lot of sense for AppSumo to go to the route that they have been. That's what I think. I mean, I really like the days when on AppSumo you really had to wait for a deal to come, and they were like two paid deals and five freebies, and then you would buy the two paid deals, and then that's it, right? And then you probably, you know, months later there would be some other deal which would be launched. That was the AppSumo, like literally, like before a couple of years ago, and now it's just like a flood of apps in there is very less validation. That's what I think. So there is an improve. There is a lot of things which we can improve on that front. I think. Yes.
yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. Alston, you're right. Appsum is now not focused on quality but quantity for sure. I
Hundred
feel the
percent.
same. Right. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and the other thing I have a problem with AppSumo is how they the review system. It's not fair and it's not transparent, and it's easily able to be gamed, especially if it doesn't suit AppSumo or the developers. And you know, AppSumo is in the business of making money, so that review system is there to credential, to give credibility to the product itself. And herein lies the problem, and I feel that's something that needs to be a little bit more independent and a little bit more trustworthy. Somehow I feel that the community itself has to have some kind of control over that, not just AppSumo or somebody with a big button saying, no, we don't like that review or hide it. So that's something I'm not keen on. And I feel people are getting sucked into buying products that really aren't that great because open-ended conversation is shut down.
Yeah, open-ended conversation is shut down. The reviews is starting to be, a little bit bogus. There is a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things you know, which is a problem, right? I mean, you don't do that those kind of sales, right? Like if you want to sell something, you want to sell it based on merit. Now I
Yeah.
understand there is a problem in because developers want reviews, and reviews drive
Yeah.
more sales. So
Heck yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
for sure, you know, it's easier said than done, but but like overall, I think Appsumo is a little bit responsible for this mess.
I think so. Yeah. So yeah, they do a great job, but there's a couple of big issues there that you've identified. Anyway, I think what we're planning is not really going to compete head to head with that. In any case, we're taking this. I feel like there's some big opportunities for all of us, not just you and me, Neelish, but everyone listening to this and everyone in this community. You want to build your business. You need to make network. You need to network with other professionals. You need to network with developers, with salespeople, with marketing, with graphic designers, with all of these things. And all of those people are in this group. And there's some extremely successful people in this group that really know what they're talking about. Like the other night we were having a chat, Neelish, myself, and Joe. We're chatting, and Rihani was on the call. He's the developer for WP Optimize, one of the biggest WordPress database optimization tools on the planet, and he's just there shooting the breeze. I'm talking about caching, he's talking about caching. We're just having an exchange. Turns out he's this rock star of WordPress development. Seriously, we've got all sorts of people in this group uh, that are really awesome, and I think that the power of what we're doing is not only in the tools. I mean, tools come and go. You use one tool this month, next month you use something else. The tools are really just a secondary thing. It's really the power of this group is the community and the ability to make really valuable connections to propel your business forward. And we are going to put every engagement device and mechanism that we can think of that's going to help with that.
Yes. So Jason has a comment there. He's saying, I've noticed a few developers open an independent LTD on their website once they end on AppSumo, Water TV, Pixelate, and then what do you think they? Why do you think they do that? So, uh, so Jason, I mean, first of all, like LTD community is something where the sales seem to be a little bit easier, and I'm not sure about the usage part. I'm not sure what percentage of people actually use some of these tools. Like, I'll be very honest with you, and Jason, we discussed Water TV in some of the file sizes which we are, um, because of our high resolution videos, our file sizes are typically higher. And there are issues when you start uploading files of higher size on Water TV. I'm not sure. I'm not experienced this issue on Bunny CDN on their video streaming service, but with Water TV, I think you had mentioned there were some issues as well. So, I mean, to answer your question, going back to question a little bit, uh, I don't know, maybe money is good. Generating MRR is not an easy task. So developers want to capitalize on as much LTD revenue as possible. And then once you go to MRR, probably you don't want to bring the LTD back. Having said that, uh, selling recurring revenue plans is not subscription plans is not an easy task, for sure. Water TV needs to do a lot of work to actually get that MRR customer. If you look at their interface, if you look at some of the functionality, I think there is a lot to be done before somebody pays a monthly subscription for something like that. That's just my thinking. So maybe it's easy money, and it's easy revenue for them because the community is already there. So it makes sense. And I'm not surprised if they've done some sales already.
Hmm.
What do you think?
I have never used Voodoo. I saw it come up, and I it's when I think about the way that I kind of buy these products. See, I was going to buy Voodoo. I was going to buy Voodoo TV, and I didn't. Um, one of the things I do real quick is I go in and I research everything I can about these products. If they look exciting, I get excited. Don't get me wrong, I get excited, but then I go and do research and I figure things out. Now, I've been doing development. I've since become a developer, but I've been doing development with developers that I've hired since 2007, long time ago. And I did a ton of development. I started really coming online with development, spending a lot of money around about 2010. And I've made a ton of mistakes and wasted a lot of money and had some projects go wrong and some go right. And I've learnt a lot about how to not do a development project. And I mean, a lot. And now when I look at these projects that are coming through, these products that are coming through on Appsumo, I see some of them making the same mistakes that we made when we were doing our thing. And for me, that's like a red flag, right? So when I see people doing things in a way that's sloppy, and I don't just mean the design or user interface, but I just mean like they're not paying attention to essential things in the product, and not keeping that product tightly focused and really doing the research up front to see what's essential for their end user and being very clear about who that end user is. I see them making huge mistakes, overstretching themselves in terms of how much they're trying to develop, not putting in place robust or resilient frameworks and systems, and so things break, and then when they go to scale them, they end up really slow or buggy. I see this kind of stuff over and over again, and if I see a developer like that, I'll never ever buy a product of theirs. Not in 100 years. Why? Because I've already made those mistakes. I don't need to relearn it again, you know. But when I see guys that really know what they're doing, they know how to run a team, they know how to design the user experience, and they know how to deliver true value for their end customer, even though they're not trying. And the other thing that you notice with these guys that do really well, the ones that actually do well, first of all, they research what area to go into up front. They figure out, they do some ground research to figure out what exact need they're trying to solve. They don't try and solve everyone's need. They just try and solve one narrow focus of the spectrum. And then they hire gun coders, and I mean guns, who really know how to put together a slick application, with the best practice frameworks and code and all that kind of stuff. That's why one of the questions that I always ask founders is, what is the technology your stack is built upon? How are you able to iterate so quickly? Why is it that you're able to get out 10 changes in a month, and respond to the needs of your customers, whereas this other business over here is struggling to make one meaningful change within 6 months? So questions like that, it comes down to a whole bunch of things like I kind of indicated there. And I don't mean to cast aspersions on Avaru TV. I don't know them from a bar of cheese. It may be a great product, but there are certain things that I saw in there that it didn't impress me, and I went, "Oh, I'm not going near that. I'm looking for really high quality, highly developed products. That's what I want in my arsenal."
Yeah, and the developer is nice. I mean, to be fair, we invited them. They decided to do a live session with us. I've, they're very smart folks. It, it's just that I'm not impressed with the service myself, but uh, I think they are still improving. So we'll give them some
Yeah,
time. I hope
yeah.
they
But
do.
I wish them the best of luck. I don't mean any harm to any developer. I know it's hard, man. It's hard, and to have people talking about you in an open group like this, it's not easy. So, first of
Yeah.
all, my apologies for bringing up Vodu TV as that example. I didn't see anything specific that made me want to dump on them. But uh, what's an example of an awesome product that I've seen? An awesome product that I've seen developed. I'll tell you one was Mailshake. What a simple product. You connect your email, you do a sequence, and it does it reliably. It doesn't try to do too much. It doesn't try to warm up your email. It doesn't try to be CRM. It doesn't try to, just did one thing, did it really, really well. And as a result, it's become one of the most in-demand LTDs that you've ever seen in our group. One of the things that I've learned over the years, do your research about the value that you think you're going to build. Do some testing up front before you commit to it. Make sure that it's something that people really, 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 truly want and they're going to pay for. Use best practice frameworks, make it a narrow focus, and just knock it out. But don't try and do everything. If you try and do everything, I'm going to put money on you failing. That's how it generally works. Ruhani, hey Ruhani, we were just talking about you a few minutes ago. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, he is at work but listening. That's great. That's great. Um, hey, one comment from Ankit here says, personally, I think it's to capitalize on the brand awareness and LTD hype to get more LTD revenue without sharing a percentage to Appsumo or deal platforms. For sure, Ankit, that's right. I mean, if they can not share revenue with Appsumo and keep that, it's great. However, when it comes to Wire TV, right, the founders were actually ahead of Appsumo. They joined the communities, they reached out to a lot of people, they gave free accounts for people to validate
Yeah,
their.
that was pretty
And
smart. I thought that was
when
pretty
I
good.
logged in, I was like, "Oh man, there is no way I'm paying for this product, right?" Like, but it was my fault. I ended up paying for it. Later on, I bought the LTD, and I decided not to use it eventually. Anyway, but you're right. It could be because of Appsumo taking 70% or whatever plan they worked out with Appsumo. I think it for developers it's a lot more lucrative if they can keep majority of the money. So could be the reason that they're launching LTDs on their site directly after coming out of Appsumo. And
I think
Alston has an interesting comment as well. Thanks, Alston. We should invite Alston one of these days into our live stream. SaaS space is getting real competitive, so we need to consider sustainability of these tools as well. What non-LTD competitors are doing. So to penetrate the market, you need some USP, or else they will stay in LTD and will not penetrate main market. Later down the road, they will increase the chances of their failure. Yeah.
so. So for anyone who's doing any development or thinking about doing development, this is my number one recommendation for you. Please read the book called Scaling Lean by Ash Moria. If you want the reference, let me know, and I'll paste the link in the thing to Amazon. You must get that book. And even those of you who are doing marketing and wondering why you're grinding with your marketing, it's generally because the value you're creating is mismatched to the problem and the audience that you're trying to get it to. And you're trying to solve your problem with marketing or sales, and yet that's the wrong area. You should be focusing on the value that you're delivering to a specific cohort. And it may be that there's a mismatch there. And same thing with apps. Dude, I'm telling you, I've spent money, wasted money, and had things bomb on applications that. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Nilesh. On things that didn't take off, and it really nonplussed me because I could have sworn that people would have wanted this thing. Turns out that people want specific things, and things that you think are important sometimes aren't. And the truth of the matter is that we're usually more wrong than we're right. If we were more right than we were wrong, we could go out to the stock market and just dump all our money on it and make money everywhere. The case is that most people can't do that. We just, and that's why we lose money when we do these developments. So please read that book, Scaling. I think everybody here in this group should read it. Honestly, you really should, because this is the way to think about your product development, your content development, and it really informs everything going forward. I think I'm just going to share my screen. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, so
Can I share?
listening it's Scaling Lean by Ashmore. It's on Audible as well. So if you're into
Yeah.
audiobooks, you can listen into it. Yeah.
Audible. Yeah, I highly recommend that. It's easier. I'm gonna share my screen so everybody can see the book. Here we go. Just pull it up when you're ready, if you want. English. And this will save you a lot of pain, a lot of months of wasted development time. And this goes for people who are entrepreneurs and building a business that's not an app as well. This is just for anybody who's creating anything of value that they're wanting to see grow.
Let me see.
or you can
Let
just
me,
share your link.
yeah, I'm sharing. 1 second. Um, Let me just. There you go.
Well, that's what the book looks like. I'll just bring it up on Amazon. Scaling, lean, mastering the metrics for startup growth. Really, really important concepts in there about how you know your idea is a good one, how to iterate from there to one that actually is in demand, um, and then how to look for those early signals within the, let's say, within the first few months that you're on the right track. This is hugely important. You could be going down the wrong track right now, spending time, energy, and money doing exactly the wrong thing, and you only have to be off by a few degrees in order to not hit the money, right? This is the key thing. You only have to be off by a few degrees. A framework like this can really, really help you. Um, and it's not sexy. It's not a sexy one click button AI driven tool that can go and fix all your problems for you. I apologize about that, but in all honesty, it's probably really, really useful. I'm just gonna not share anymore. There you go. Cool. Back off, not sharing.
Are you done sharing?
I'm done sharing. So sorry, I should have let you know that.
Yeah. Yeah. No worries. So yeah, Wilson, Alston. I think it's a great book. You should definitely read it. And I think everybody, Win Mitz, the first thing he asked him is to read
Oh,
this book.
I
So
get it and I hammer them over the head with it. Sorry, everybody who I've tortured with that
yeah,
book.
I meant to ask you when you are not Ash Maurya by any chance, are you? That would be
No,
fun.
I'm not.
You're promoting your own book with a different
Yeah,
name,
yeah.
just like
I've had
those
a few.
Appsumo reviewers.
Oh man, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. That was one of the most entertaining things I've seen
It's
all
like,
week.
I have met Anil, and he's awesome. It's like,
That's all
it's like,
right.
like. So can you imagine when you are Ash Maurya? It's like, yeah, I'm known Ash Maurya. His book is awesome, and then you find out,
So
oh,
you've met
Win
this.
is
You
Ash
met that guy. You've met him, and you really respect him. Yeah.
Maurya.
You've met him? Did you say you've met him?
Yeah, oh, Ash Maurya? No,
No, no, no. The other guy that was spamming on leaving fake reviews on Appsumo. Did you say?
oh, no, I haven't met him. I think he's in our group, but maybe he might be a different person. Anyway, I don't want people to go after and tagging people, so maybe it's a different person. I was just saying, so we should not don't tag anybody
No,
without
that's
doing
awesome.
for sure.
That's awesome. I think it's good to have a good laugh like that, dude. If you're gonna do stuff like that, man, you better get ready to get punished.
Yeah. Yeah, so as long as you are not Ash Maurya, we should be okay.
I wish I was. I'd be making a lot more money right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. He
Okay.
wrote the book. That's correct.
Hey, do you want to talk about some deals right now that we think everyone should be having a? I mean, it's like everyone can just go on Appsumo and have a look, but I thought I'd just spend a minute or two just quickly running through these. If you want to
Yeah,
give it a
quickly
go.
running through these. Actually, I created a quick video on Sleek Plan, which is I really like that. Mm,
Okay. Really?
Yeah, yeah. I can share my screen
Yeah, yeah.
and
You do that first. Yeah.
let me close a few windows because every time I share my screen, I have 15,000 Windows tabs open. I just want to be very careful because
Can I
India
get this link for Ruhani? He's asked for the link in the thing.
India beat England at Lords in a test match. So I was just been watching all the highlights, and it's really exciting. So yeah, Sorry to all anyone who is an England fan here, but I'm just very happy that England was beaten at Lords. So, what's happening with New Zealand cricket win?
Um, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't actually follow cricket. It's not really my cup of tea. I follow wrestling and grappling and jujitsu and mixed martial arts. I love and boxing. I love that. I do watch rugby from time to time. But that's about. Oh, and I watch the yachting when the America's Cup is happening, but that's about it. I'm not into cricket. I've never gotten the hang of it, man. I could never do the bowling. I love playing softball and baseball. That's more my thing. I love that kind of sport. I've never gotten into that throwing the ball over and doing this kind of thing.
Oh, really?
Nah, to be honest.
Oh, one second. What's happening here? That's yours. One second.
Oh, you're sharing my screen.
One second. One second. Yeah, that's my screen here. So I think I really like Sleek Plan, and I know Frill just finished their LTD, uh, but for those who are still looking for a tool for any type of, so this is an all-in-one feedback tool. Basically, you get your feedback board, product roadmap, any type of change log, and then you can do satisfaction surveys as well. And they allow you to do this in the form of, like, you could do it on your websites, widgets, as well as iframe. So the interface, everything is very sleek, and the developer has added some really good features. So let me see if we can see the plan on Appsumo. I'll show you the demo as well. So I did a quick 5-minute video yesterday, and I thought, like, wow, Street Plan is pretty decent for what it is.
Really?
Now it does not have that many reviews, for sure. Uh, but having said that, the developer is pretty active. So of course, an alternative to Canny, Upworthy, user voice, and if you look at the plan, they're offering for $59. And I know we have a lot of smart folks who know how to get it for a lot less than $59 actually.
Hmm.
But for $59, it's one domain, five teammates, one company, workspace, and 10,000 page views. And then you have, if you go with two codes, you have your unlimited page views and two domains, and, two company workspaces. And then for the tier three, you have five domains. So I think fairly reasonably priced. You get access to their business plan, and you see what features are included when you get some time. But I just wanted to quickly show you a demo here. So that's the demo page. Like, if you go to sleekplan.com/demo, actually purchase tier two. It's very neat. So these are the widgets. You can see the widget demos here, and then you can go into the website demos, which will open onto a different page. And then if you are embedding as an iframe, then
That's
that's
right.
here. So you can see all the in three ways in which you can use SleekPlan. You can use it as widgets, you can use it on your website, or embed them as an iframe. So when if you can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can see the change log here. This is the widget which has opened up.
Okay, that looks pretty smooth. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the interface, and I mean, some of these
You
tools,
know,
we really got to use it to know the full details
question for you.
over a period of
You
time.
know,
So I don't want to do a review without actually knowing the ins and outs of a
yeah,
product, but on just a primary feel of this is it's actually very sleek, as the name
yeah,
suggests, sleek plan. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there you go. So you can do change log, you can have the feedback board here, and you can upvote features and so on. You can add features. see the
Okay.
roadmap. If you want a new suggestion, you can do that as well. And that's a widget, right? So feedback pop up.
Yeah.
Or,
It's good that they give you all those examples so you can see how it looks in
yeah,
context. So,
it does. So that's a feedback board. It opens up into a new site. We're not going to open everything, but that's an iframe embed, right? So if you want to embed this as an iframe, like for example, it's a perfect thing for me to embed it in my Quiller proposals. And I mean, I love Quiller, like, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah, Win, do you want to share your screen? I think Sleek Plan is very awesome.
okay, cool. All right, I might check that out. I have
All
a
right,
use
I'll
for it.
go back to your screen.
Um,
Okay,
yeah.
go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to review these because I haven't even looked at Writer yet. But I'm just going to quickly go through these. I think these are worth looking at this week, obviously. So Writer apparently is really, really good. The only reason I say that is because I'm just repeating what Joe says. If Joe says it's good, then I'm saying it's good. So I've been reviewing Closer's copy, and I'm taking my time with it because I'm legitimately using Closer's copy. Closer's copy is going to be one of the. Oh, I might as well talk about Closer's copy. Closer's copy is a tool. It's not push button simple. Yes, it does have AI built in headline and all that kind of stuff. Uh, I think people are missing the point. The fact that Closer's copy has this AI stuff now is fine. Am I going to use it? Yes, I am. I'm going to be using it to train up models for ads, for Google, for Facebook ads, and whatnot. So I'm going to feed it like 100, 200, 300 ads that I've found in a particular market. And then I'm going to use it to generate new. Go, Joe. Yes, Casey, can't wait for you to jump in here and talk about Closer's copy. But I'm actively using this because, we need to write the sales pages for a startup that we're now building up, ads, et cetera, et cetera. So for me, Closer's copy has tons of value. The AI side of things is just icing on the top. Joe was saying that he's using Writer with it. I've still yet to um, to review this, but I want to see how this goes. And that's still out there, so you can get it. It's pretty cheap. Topic Mojo. At first, I was pretty disparaging about it, but after spending a bit more time with it, I see that the results are quite equivalent to Answer the Public. So I think that people should have a look. If you are currently subscribing to Answer the Public, or you're currently restricting yourself to the 3 free queries per day, then definitely check out Topic Mojo. It's only like 50 or $60. And it does that job adequately. As far as the paid add-ons for the monthly, I don't know. I have never used them, and I don't really care because I've got other tools that give me that data anyway. So there's that. There's NextWeave. Where is that NextWeave? Appsumo. Let me just go on there now. Whilst that's loading, I'll come back. Good. Appsumo. This tool looks actually really interesting. So those of you who have been using Hyperrise, I think this one is going to be a pretty compelling argument. Hyperrise is people are selling that for good money in our group at the moment. So it shows you the actual value of this. And so you can use videos as backgrounds or images, and then you can have personalization on the front of that. So you can use that in different tools. I know that they're talking about integrations with Optics, which we've already had the founder on this show. They've got an integration coming with InCharge, which I'm really happy about. I'd love to see them doing an integration with VBout as well. I think that'll be good value for the founders because there's a lot of members who are Appsumo who have either or both of those tools. And I do believe that you can use it with Texel. So I'm really excited about this because of the way that you can link together sales automation with your emails, with your LinkedIn, and with other things like that. And I do believe that it will help you to improve your response rates. So I'm excited about that one. VBOUT, as you know, from if anyone who hears me talking will have heard me talking up in charge, and there are a number of, unfortunately, it's no longer on lifetime deal, but VBOUT is, and it's in some ways it's not as good as as VBOUT, but then it does things that VBOUT doesn't. So VBOUT, in my opinion, is beautiful for a SaaS startup that's piping data from one area to another. That's not VBOUT in charge, and VBOUT is, in my opinion, a pretty good replacement for Active Campaign. Maybe not as good, but pretty good, and for the pricing, unbelievable. And it does everything that you need really for most businesses. I am seriously considering getting a few of these licenses, even though I've already got in charge. Directorial. So Neelish was talking with the founder the other night. For me, at least, watching that interview was a little bit difficult, even watching the interview, to kind of figure out what Directorial does. But I do believe it does have a front end. It also integrates with other popular front end frameworks like React. So if you're a front end developer, then I think that this will work really well for you. The beauty of this is it takes away the need to do a lot of the back end development. So you can use their drag and drop editor to create a lot of the logic that you see. You can create your own APIs, and one of the things I'll tell you that I was speaking to another gentleman the other night, a client. Okay, so 10 years ago, when I was doing a lot of websites, I used to make a living, even longer ago. About 10 years or more ago, I was doing a lot of Twitter Bootstrap, and WordPress sites. Probably 5 years ago, I was doing more mobile applications. I believe that the time that we're in right now, yes, you can still make money at websites and mobile apps and stuff like that. That opportunity is not going away. And maybe 2 or 3 years ago, it was chatbots. So it's gone websites, mobile apps, chatbots. Now I think the focus is APIs. Creating accessible APIs and packaging up your data and selling that way. I do believe that the opportunity right now is massive for those people who can figure out how to connect data from one place to another and make it super simple, and then create subscriptions and paid memberships to be able to connect with that data. And Directorial is one of those tools that we're happy how to do it. Can I tell you how to use Directorial? I wouldn't have the foggiest clue, but I've looked at enough of the documentation and watched the videos to understand that what he's doing is making it easy for you to create an API system without knowing a ton about coding. Waybook. This is coming back on sale on Appsumo next week for those of you who got Briefcase. And just as a reminder, Briefcase costs you $149, which gives you $196 worth of credits, but then you also get 10% off, which means that you get $215 worth of credits by getting Briefcase. And then if you decide that you don't want to do Briefcase in 3 months, then you can cancel, and all your purchases are still there. Crawl IQ, I'm not 100% sure about this one. I find it really, really interesting. Oh, sorry, I'll go back to Waybook. So Waybook, if you're building a business that's just more than you, and you got other team members and you want things done in a predictable way, then I highly, highly, highly suggest that you have something like Waybook or what was the other one? Process Street, and there was another one that came through Appsumo. But the general gist of these tools is that you take your processes and you document them carefully, like the exact steps that you want that thing done. And then you put in place checklists to say, somebody's got to check on the quality before it's approved, and then it can go to the next phase. If you want your business to be able to operate without you and you want to be able to scale it, more importantly, if you want to build your business so that it can scale without your direct input, then you need to start documenting your standard operating procedures, and you need to start somewhere. You could do this in Nimbus if you wanted to, or Evernote or Notion. Waybook is probably a slightly more appropriate platform. Maybe not, it's not like the most awesome tool in the world. I'm not going to say it's got like magical abilities, but it's just an appropriate place to put your processes. I have been looking at Crawl IQ. I'm not recommending it, but I do think it's a really interesting idea. Um, and this is kind of like from kind of like planning out what the problems that your customer, going back to Ash Maurya, right? So, how do you create value for your customers, right? And that's really the value equation. The amount of value that you're able to create for a big enough audience will dictate whether or not you're able to generate an income with either your service or your product or your application. Crawl IQ promises to help you with that, but I've just seen so much negative talk about it in the community, in our community. Not on Appsumo, right? This is the key point. On Appsumo, it looks like an amazing tool. You come into our group and people are talking about it openly and honestly. About half of the sentiment, people are saying it's confusing, it's bloated, it's complicated, it's whatever. So there you go. There's two different perspectives there. I'm interested and I'm going to check this out. I'm just kind of like casting this out there as an interesting thing. And Joe's saying my crawl IQ is still setting up since the last time it was on Appsumo. Interesting. Okay, so if Joe says that it's crap, then probably don't get it. But I wish that crawl IQ was good. I really do. I'm begging for a developer out there to figure out this stuff because this is the kind of tool I definitely would 100% use on probably a weekly basis. Something that would help me with the customer journey and planning out the value that I'm going to provide these people in my proposed business. Anyway, that's a shame. Sorry to hear that. Alrighty, that's me. And I think
Okay.
Ruhani was saying that he thinks that direct tool is great. Thanks, Ruhani, for that. I think it looks good. I haven't tried it, so I kind of reserved that comment. But I think it looks promising. Anyway, he seems like a sharp cat. The founder of this.
For directionally, I think for sure he like okay, for sure it's an application built for enterprise. So I'm not sure if you listen to him when, but they built the application for an enterprise, right? So they actually have
Mm-hmm.
enterprise customers. Then they
Really?
decided that they're going to build it for the mass market, right? So and that's when they have started to, get away from doing all the professional services and things which they were doing
Mm-hmm.
for some of their enterprise customers. So there is an enterprise customer case study on Directional's website. If you look at it, seems like a big company. To be honest, I'm not very familiar with it, but it looks like an European company, so should be very big, based on what
So
he was mentioning to me.
So Rahani's saying he loves the idea. Gene is telling us that he thinks it's expensive for live apps, and maybe he's right.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure, it would be expensive for live apps. You know, if you have an idea which is validated, then for sure you don't want to build something based on a no-code platform. Uh, you probably are better off on AWS or Azure or whatever works for you.
I'll
Uh,
tell you, I'll tell you something that
or
really
Google
has
Cloud
me
GCP. Yeah.
interested, and this is something I'm doing more on now is Firebase. So I'd be interested to hear what Ruhani and Gene think of that because I love the look of Firebase, man. It's based on Google Cloud. The costing is nominal. As you know, the model with Google Cloud is that you pay per use, and the hit cost is like 0.00000001 per cent per hit or whatever it is. It's next to nothing, and so you need literally millions of hits to even make a blip on the bill, on your monthly bill. It depends, of course, but I love Firestorm, which is like the backend database that you can use in this, and it's relatively. You have to be a developer though. You can't be. This is not. This is not. This is definitely not no code. Uh, but it's kind of like an in between. You don't have to be a hardcore coder that has to provision their own servers and set everything up by scratch and worry about the security and all of that stuff. All of the backend is mostly there, and then you're dealing with microservices. If you need backend logic, you can code that up. in any language that makes sense to you, whether it's Python, JavaScript, C++, whatever, Golang. And then if you're a front-end coder, then you can create a front-end platform that integrates with it. So that's how my mind is thinking right now. That's how I'd be doing it. But I love the look of Directual in terms of, trying to get something quick up, and like Neelish, you were saying, you're going past that basic MVP and you're developing something that's actually useful. It's something that you and I've been talking about recently, that we're going to maybe do a bit of testing on this to see if we can get something up and just how useful it's going to be.
Yeah, and when he was very honest about the directional founder was very honest that the fact that you need to have some basic concepts of programming and JavaScripts and things of that nature, without which, you can't get too far with directional, right? So everybody has to learn those concepts at some stage, and then using directional would be a lot more easier.
Hmm. Yeah, Joe's saying that most of his developers use Firebase. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, marketing is going towards Firebase. Anything you want to put up something real quick. You want to put up a slick React app or some kind of front end app, and you don't want to bother with doing all the back end logic, having to worry about all the servers and everything. It's just awesome. You can create an API on there, and then you can create a front end that hooks in with that. It's really beautiful. Your development costs go down substantially when you're, in my opinion, when you're able to build on top of something like Firebase. Okay. Rohani saying, I can understand Pavel's point of view on the enterprise. Certain big clients, they went on a platform to reduce ideation to operational apps by their own. So I'm guessing what you're saying, Rohani, is that people will use platforms like this in order to speed up their learning, to figure out whether the app is valid or not. And then if it is, then they transition to something that's bespoke, that's built properly from the ground up. Maybe that's what you say. Is that what Ruhani's saying? Do you think, Neelish? Oh, yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah, it's a hard one, right? I mean, like I said, I do some JavaScript. I'm not the world's best developer. I'd say I'm probably a junior coder at best. Pretty scary, man, having to get all of these moving parts together. You could be 6 months in and realizing that you have something that doesn't work. That's a scary place to be, because you haven't made income that whole time. And it's taking you that long to figure out that you got a lemon on your hands. And so as a result, it's extremely expensive. If you're able to use something like Directual to get something up within a few days, therein lies the value, I think. And then
Have
if
you
you got
seen
something
the
that's
Have
really
you
great,
seen Fireship.io? Let me show you.
yeah, man, it's cool. Yeah, it's Fireship.io is awesome. Are you talking about the guy that does those videos on YouTube and he teaches you how to use Firebase?
Yeah, let me. What am I doing here? One second. Let me
Yeah, I know
let
the
me.
one. I've been there, man. I've been thinking about getting his courses. They look awesome.
Oh, I actually bought his course. I've been.
Oh, have you? Which one?
Um, I have a pro. Let me see if it's. I'm still paying for it. I'll have to see. Am I sharing my screen? I am sharing my screen. One
No,
second.
you're on my screen. I got there quicker than you.
I have the same website open. Okay.
Are we on your screen?
So, I think I'm on my screen, but
Yeah.
uh,
So he's suggesting he's got a few courses there, right? He's got Flutter, Angular, Stripe, Next.js, Firestore. Firestore is very interesting, man. It's a really nice little. I don't know what you think, Ruhani, but if you're a gun with with MySQL, then maybe you don't need all of this. But man, I just love it in the back end how you can just play with it. It's just so easy. It's easier than a spreadsheet playing around with Firestore. How to use cloud functions. So your back end logic, you for whatever you need, you write a little. I'm pretty good at writing cloud functions. They're pretty cool.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Fireship's cool. Yeah, so anyone who's interested in this stuff, definitely check out Fireship. If you're interested in Firebase, check out fireship.io. We should definitely contact this guy. We should have him on.
Oh, Jeff Delaney? Yeah, for sure. Although I just noticed my subscription has expired. I gotta renew my subscription. But yeah, we can contact him for sure. I'm on his Slack channel as well.
Mm. So Rohani saying, yes, we are testing this internally. I would check with R&D what's their thoughts on Fireship. Yeah, Fireship is it's just a teaching platform like Udemy, but it's his own thing. He's created this himself, and he does well because if you search for Firebase tutorials on YouTube, he's one of the best, I reckon, because you can actually understand what he's talking about. You don't get confused. I find a lot of the tutorials are incomprehensible, but when he teaches you, you actually go, oh, I can do this. All you need is to get free VS Code, go and spark up a free Firebase uh, thing, and away you go. It's actually pretty cool. I love playing around with stuff. Yeah. Alrighty. Are we talking about anything else?
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of things which we can talk about, but in the spirit of, you know, time, I think we've talked for an hour and a half already, which is sufficient, right? We don't want every session to be 3 hours long.
3 hour.
Yeah.
3 hours. Cool.
Oh, what am I sharing?
Let's wrap
Oh,
it up.
Quiller. I can share talk about Quiller very quickly. So this is my screen. That's um, my proposals platform, Quiller. Like, so this is one of my accounts. I've
Mm-hmm.
talked to you Win about it, like in terms of how we do proposals and things of that nature. So
Oh, this is you do your bespoke proposals, and this you don't use better proposals or
yeah,
fresh proposals. You use this one, yeah.
yeah, I don't use anything. I use this particular one. I can show you. These are
Okay.
some of my live customers.
Can you
And,
show? Can you show me a template? What do they look like?
yeah, I can show it to you. This might not be finalized version. I'll have to check. I have two different accounts. But yeah, this is what a proposal will look like for me. Um, and
What's great about it? Why is this thing awesome and better proposals isn't more awesome?
just the flexibility of pricing, coding. When a proposal gets accepted. So this is a pretty big company. Like, they have over 100 hotels worldwide,
Yeah.
and they are all luxury hotels. They are like 5-star hotels. So and they are one of my big customers. So
Okay.
when I'm sending a proposal, it's typically goes into Hong Kong. It needs to be approved. There needs to be changes done. So it's a lot more easier to coordinate and collaborate with your customer. I can show
Mm-hmm.
you some of the integrations as well.
Okay. You know what? One of the things that strikes me straight away that I like.
Yeah.
One of the things that I don't know. I think they all do it, and it's something I'm not really keen on. I actually like a really plain looking Google Doc. I know this sounds weird, and it's the same reason when I do cold email, I never use a template email. I always have plain text, and it always looks like it's come from a friend. It never has any header on it or any of that, like signature or anything like that. It's just really straightforward, as if a friend had written it. And I find I get really high responses from that. Um, you know, One of the issues that I got with I don't know how Crove or Quilla is. I know one of the benefits of Quilla over better proposals. One of the pain points that I have with better proposals is the amount that they charge. Right, you got to pay for your credit card transaction fees, plus you have to pay better proposals a percentage of the transaction as well. I think it works out to about 5 or maybe 6% overall, which is a pretty significant thing when you're charging. If you've got, like let's say you do something for $5,000, you just you do a few of those, and it doesn't take long for that to add up.
Yeah.
So that's one.
So I mean, I'll be very honest with you, and I've tried like various proposal platforms. Like I have better proposals, I have like coders, and I have like Proposify, and I've tried like Panda Doc, and you name it. I've tried every single thing,
Yeah,
and this is the company that has
this
worked
is the one.
really well for me.
How
Uh,
much does it cost?
it cost me like about $700 or $800 a year uh,
Yeah.
for 3 users. They give me some
Okay.
additional features in it, like and I have like multiple accounts for two different companies. Uh, but I mean, it works. Like I'll show you, like, and these are my live customers, so
Yeah. $100.
this is up to be a little bit careful.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
like
Oops.
no,
Hide your
no, but
screen.
I've had them. I mean, I've you know.
Maybe
Uh,
show a template. Can you do a template one?
yeah, I'll show you. Like, oh yeah, let me show you this thing. So this is the a trail, right? This is a document trail, right? So this has been
Yeah.
an accepted proposal. So you can see who published it. That's me. Page viewed, and I have blanked out some information here. Um, and this customer electronic signature. So this is a legally binding proposal document which has
Okay.
been signed. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
really important thing for me to have
Mm-hmm.
a legally binding document. But if what you're
Right.
talking about in terms of percentage, you don't have to. You can do an electronic acceptance of the proposal, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to take an electronic payment, right? So we do all like the server infrastructure upgrades and everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you look at the cost of some of these proposals, these are accepted proposals, right?
Yeah.
Uh, it's just about $80,000. I'm not going to give 3% on that to anybody, so you can accept a check literally. But
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But we are into professional services, so I can show you one of the.
Yeah, man. That's $2,400. 3% of 80K is 2,400 bucks. That's enough to get on a plane and go have a holiday in wherever. It's pretty.
Yeah, you see my screen still?
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, this is a PDF document, right?
Okay.
So I think it's very detailed. It allows me to work as a team, and
Mm-hmm.
I can document everything like in terms of terms and conditions, test plan for like we do a lot of security for enterprise and stuff like that. So this is professional services, right? This is for just
Mm.
like deploying a pair of firewalls, right? But this
Yeah.
is like a high end firewall, like high end professional kind of services.
Yeah. So if you're doing higher end stuff like this, you recommend doing Quilla.
Yes, I would highly recommend Quiller for anybody who wants to build beautiful proposals, engage your customers, and close a lot of business. So I have some questions here. I can try and answer them. Hi Nilesh, I'm new to these proposal apps. Does this compare to Crow app? Actually, no, it doesn't run it. So I've actually had a call with the founder of Grove app. I've shown him Quiller. I would like him to be there at some stage. But Crow app's proposal platform is nowhere close to what Quiller is. I mean, I
Really?
have not even touched 1% of the capability of what Quiller can do. It has a lot of really good integrations. Let me see if I can show some of the. So I can integrate it with Zero, Stripe, Pipedrive, and even HubSpot as well.
Is there an application that allows you to take like a TransferWise or something like that?
Um, no, no, I mean, but I will have to see what TransferWise offers in terms of. Maybe I have never really bothered to check about TransferWise.
Or let's say you're dealing with somebody in a foreign currency from, because you're in Canada, right? And every time you wire fees across that borderline, you're always going to be paying those transfer fees, which can be significant.
Yeah, yeah, it's in our terms and conditions that customers pay for the wire fees.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So, uh, but let me answer. So yeah, looks cool. Yes, it is very cool. This okay. Hey, Austin. Yes, it is very useful. I mean, if you are sending proposals, I've literally closed like hundreds of thousands of dollars of services, like millions in terms of professional services around my Cisco practice with the help of Quiller. And every time customer has asked me, "Hey, can you show me how you've done this proposal?" and like and things of that nature. Like I mean, I've shown it to vendors, and vendors are like, "Yeah, I want to." I mean, I'm not touching the full scope of it here, but yeah, Cooler is very very powerful. Let me see if I can go back into some of the other stuff. You can create a blank page, or you can also create from a template. So just anything really, if we want to send, you can do it through Quiller. Oh, hey, Win, here we go. That's your copywriting proposal based on closer copy.
Oh, yeah. Copywriting. Okay. Oh, really? Based on closes copy?
No, I'm just,
Really?
I'm just making that up.
Oh, you're jiving with me.
Yeah,
You had me going there. It looks pretty nice.
yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice.
Hmm.
So Quiller hasn't actually. So just guys, we're talking about Quiller, but Quiller is not an LTD. Okay, Quiller, you have to pay a full subscription price. It's a company based in Australia. They're doing really really well. I don't think they're going to offer an LTD for sure. They offer us a discount, like 20%, but other than that, they're not going to do an LTD. So yeah, it's very easy to, like, you can uh, embed certain things as well in here. Like you can embed a type form, a Google sheet, anything with an iframe you can embed. So if you want to say embed that sleek plan widget, sleek plan roadmap, or sleek plan feedback form, you can embed that using this in here using the embed code.
Okay, that's pretty good. It's quite flexible.
Yeah, it's quite flexible. I mean, you can create different blocks You can create code blocks. It's really easy to use. Uh,
You
I,
know,
I, I really like Quiller. I mean,
mm,
anyway, we don't want the session to be turning into something else, but we can talk a little bit about Quiller at a later stage. Um,
yeah.
with that, I think we're good. We did about an hour and 45 minutes almost. So thanks, guys, for sticking around. And if you have any questions regarding Cooler, to especially our regular folks, yeah, message me and I can run you through any particular scenario for Quiller. I highly recommend it for your business. If you are in the business of sending proposals, creating proposals, and making sure they look professional, I think it's a good platform. But
Mm.
of course, there is a cost associated to it because you know it's a subscription-based platform. So, all right, when with that, that's me. We can connect again maybe tomorrow, day after. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And should I roll the music? Do you have any closing comments?
No,
And I
no, that's
want to
all good.
welcome all the new folks to the community for sure. Yes.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Ruhani, Jean, Joe, Jason, and I can't see all the names on here.
Alston,
Alston,
Aditya, we have a
Wilson,
few folks.
Ankit.
Yes. All right.
Awesome, guys. Cool.
Thank
Talk
you.
to you soon.